Hello, and I really didn't plan to do this video, but I was going on my morning walk and I looked down at my wrist and again I chose the C3PO, the G-Shock 35th anniversary limited edition gold. And I think people that are watching this, that they probably know what this watch is. And yeah, the interesting thing is, once again, it's it's my go-to watch these days. And the gold color, yeah, I seem to gravitate towards it all the time. Now, the reason that the stopwatch is running is because I time the walks that I go on. Because I'm trying to be healthy, and each day I try and walk at least an hour, and I've only done 6 minutes so far. But anyway, I thought I would do a walk and talk, but firstly show you the G-Shock. This is such a cool watch, and it's the one that I keep wearing. Anyway, I will just turn the camera around. Hold on. So I think this is the first watch walk and talk that I've done. And I actually didn't intend to do this video, so I haven't got my microphone or anything. I'm literally holding the camera in my hand, and that's probably what it's going to be vertical, not horizontal, because I can swap hands then. But what I meant to do, well, literally as I'm walking along here, I thought to myself, I'm going to do a watch walk and talk and see what comes out of my mouth. Now, in another video that I recently released, I mentioned watch thickness, and I thought, why don't I start with watch thickness? Because if you are a watch enthusiast, you're a watch collector, but if you're part of the watch community, you'll be aware that watch thickness is mentioned quite often as thinness is a positive. People don't seem to like thick watches. Although I imagine that some people don't mind. I'm definitely, I can see I look terrible there. I can see that I don't mind watch thickness because, I'm really sort of more an engineer. So I understand that the thickness is determined by the mechanical properties of the material that the case is made out of. And that case is also holding a movement. And if the watch movement is mechanical and it's complicated, of course there is going to be thickness there. You'll have heard many people talk about manual wind three-hand movements, and then a chronograph movement always being a little thicker. And that's because in the mechanical movement there are literally more components, more gears. So of course the movement's going to be thicker. Now, in an electronic watch like this, a digital watch, of course, the main component is probably the screen, and then the integrated circuit that basically it drives the screen and has some very simple functions in there to perform the alarm, stopwatch, etc. So these days, because of microelectronics, the movements can be quite thin. And of course you have quartz movements that are electrical. They may only have one motor that these days can be very, very small to drive the hands. So the digital watches the movement can be slimmer. The one thing that does add thickness in a quartz or an electrical watch is the battery. Batteries do need to be a certain size. Now, of course, you can put a small battery in there, and then it won't last as long. Or you can do like what Casio used to do and put a great big penny-sized battery in their G-Shocks, and you know, they could pretty much guarantee a 10-year lifetime from that one battery. That's definitely the camp I'm in. I'm a big fan of 10-year battery lives, and it being solar powered. So there are some mechanical reasons why watches are thick. For me, the thickness it's not really a problem. It gives the watch some presence on the wrist. It gives it some weight so you can feel it. And especially with mechanical watches, I used to wear an IWC Pilot, and that's quite a thick watch, and the thickness is actually something that I really liked. And I hear people often talk about, will the watch go under a cuff? And I think to myself, who the hell cares if it goes under your cuff? I'm quite happy for it to not go under my cuff and to stay visible so I can see the time. So people that want thin watches that go under the cuff, that isn't me. I don't get that. I'm not a buyer of that camp at all. As you know, I'm a big Richard Mille fan. I think what Richard Mille has done is fantastic. But they have made a very super thin watch, and I forget its name off the top of my head. I do apologize, but it's the super thin silver colored watch. I think it's the F1, or there's an F1 association. And when you look at it, the thinness of that watch it's actually thinner than the strap, or it looks that way. And it also looks so thin that there's no structural integrity, so it could bend. And when I originally looked at the Octo Finissimo, the very thin Octo, I thought, if you tighten that strap quite a lot, I could see the case bending, especially if you flexed your muscles or you were doing something. I can imagine the case flexing and the crystal popping out. And but I am told that the Octo Finissimo is structurally fine, and that won't happen. Anyway, so that is watch thickness. I'm going to pause right there. Hold on. So in this next piece of the video, I wanted to talk about G-Shock's 40th anniversary pieces, and really focusing on the full metal square. So as any G-Shock fan is probably aware, we have a gold recrystallized version, and also in silver. The silver has the negative display. Now, I've nicknamed the recrystallize effect on the material, on the strap and case, as the cornflake effect, because it looks like especially the gold one, it looks like a cornflake. Now, originally, when I saw the 40th gold cornflake, I liked the matte appearance, and the images that I saw made me think that looks a little bit like it's brushed, and I thought that's not a problem. I'm going to really like that. But when I saw some later images and I saw some reviews, I could see that the recrystallized mottled effect was a lot more prominent than I'd noticed before. So the cornflake brushed matte effect wasn't so brushed and matte. It was more mottled, more bubbly. And for some reason, it really stopped me thinking, I want to get these models. Now, I do want to get the 40th cornflake, because the gold cornflake, because I could do a comparison with this, and it's going to look fantastic. And I would like to see the silver cornflake, because it has the negative display, and I really do like the silver outer part. So where the the crystal here. It's not the crystal, it's the piece of material below the crystal, but that's gold. On the 40th silver cornflake, it's silver. The original one was a dark colour, so I thought that would look very nice. So I am going to try and get hold of those two, because they're probably going to be very collectible, and if I don't get them, I'm probably going to regret it. Now, the other 40th that I like is it's paying respect to the very original, and it has the resin case, and I forget the number, and it's a little bit cheaper, but it has a solid metal case with a resin outer bezel case, and but it has a gold coloured display with a mesh netting very fine over it to give it a glistening effect. Now, for some reason, that also doesn't really appeal to me, because I've had a Frogman before with a very similar effect, and for some reason I didn't like it too much, although I love the fact that it exists, and I know that, you know, people are going to really like it. Hold on, it is very warm here, and I'm walking, and I'm now overheating. This is going to be difficult. I've got the camera in one hand and my coat in the other. So we have the 3 squares, the original with the gold buttons now, and the gold metal case that's more affordable. Then we have the gold and silver cornflakes with the recrystallized casing. That's okay, but it hasn't really grabbed me. I think the polished case here looks much better. And then we have a red Frogman that I really like the look of, and the main reason that I haven't wanted to get that is I'm not sure that I'm actually going to wear a red Frogman, even though, you know, I don't mind very loud watches, and you know, I do wear them. The red Frogman, I'm just not sure I am going to wear that. And I used to own the original yellow Frogman, and I sold that, and I really regret it, because they're very difficult to find now, especially in new condition. But there is the new MRG Frogman, and the one that's available right now is the dark case, dark strap, and the blue detail. And because it's MRG, you know, they've really maxed out the specifications and the build quality, and of course the case is all aluminium, titanium, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And even though I think I do prefer the digital Frogmans, this analog 1000 MRG-BF 1000 Frogman, because it's analog, but it's electronic, so it synchronizes with your phone, and you know, so it behaves like a digital watch in terms of keeping the time and battery, that sort of thing. It looks so cool, and that is the one watch that I'm probably going to go for, because it's very different from the squares, and I feel that, yeah, I would wear that. But it also made me think to myself, hold on, I'm becoming a very square Frogman kind of guy, which is, you know, very unusual, because for many years I wore mechanical timepieces, and I do have a few now, but when I put them on, I tend to not even bother setting the time or date, because I know that it's only going to be on my wrist for about 10 minutes until I take it off and put on my G-Shock, or one of my G-Shocks. And that is, you know, and I will choose a G-Shock over the Apple Watch. Now, I found that most interesting because the Apple Watch is cool, it's very convenient, it does lots of interesting things, but for some reason, because it's so hackney, because it's so so many people have them, for some reason I've gravitated away from wanting to wear an Apple Watch, even though I really like the thing. But for some reason, because it's too popular, it's making me not want to wear it, even though it's very helpful and functional. Now, saying that, see, even though I do like the Apple Watch, I do find that the battery life and having to charge it every day is also a real put-off. And it's one of the things about G-Shocks you never have to worry about. The watch never needs charging because it's solar powered, and it's always accurate. So the Apple Watch on those two real things, number one, battery life, and two, it's so popular, are probably the reasons that I do not wear it, even though I like the thing. So the point I'm making is that today, out of all the watches I've got access to, the watch that I'm mainly gravitated towards is the G-Shock Square. I mean, every time. And where I am right now, I'm literally, look at these little cats here. How cute, huh? Don't know if you can see them. Hello. Anyway, the Square is the watch that I am gravitating towards every time, and in particular the gold, the gold one here. I'm wearing this watch. I'm choosing it to wear all the time for meetings, meeting people, going shopping, whatever I'm doing. You know, I'm choosing a gold Square, and it made me think, if I had the firepower to locate one of the 35 solid gold squares, that is the watch that I'd be going for. And if we remember, I think when it was released about 2 years ago, the retail price was about $70,000. There's only 35, and I've got a feeling that the grey market price now is about $100,000 for basically that, but in solid gold. And I still thought to myself, that's the watch that I want to get. That is the watch that if I had, I'd wear the thing. Anyway, I don't know what that means. Perhaps it's a phase I'm going through, but I'm definitely becoming the Square Frogman. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's an indication of my personality or craziness, but the watches that I gravitate to right now are definitely G-Shock Squares and G-Shock Frogman, and I don't know how to explain it. I think even if I had Richard Mille pieces right now to wear, if I'm going out or doing something, I'm probably not going to wear it because I'm going to pick up the G-Shock Square. So things have definitely changed. I've through laziness and perhaps, well, I think it really is laziness. Mechanical watches don't seem to be the things that I'm picking up to wear, even though I really, really do like them. Anyway, I think I will stop this walk and talk right there because I'm probably driving everyone crazy with boredom. So I do apologise, and I'm going to show you the G-Shock Gold Square once again. My go-to watch, and I really hope this walk and talk is okay, and I didn't plan to do it. I'm literally on a walk anyway, and I'm going to end the video there. Hope everyone is well.